we're going into some hands and knees breathing today, and then some dead bugs on our backs. So the way that you want to set yourself up for hands and knees breathing is actually against a wall, which I don't have. But I will pop a picture up here on the side so that you can see what I'm talking about. If you don't have a wall or a couch or something that you can just have your head up against, that's okay. You can always practice that another time. But your fingers need to be sort of in line with your nose, so directly underneath your shoulders for your wrists, and then your knees underneath your hips. Now, if you have a mirror handy, this would be even more awesome to do next to a mirror so that you can get your setup right and that you can get the most out of this exercise. So we want to just slightly press up away from the floor with the hands to create just a little bit of space between the shoulders. And then if you have a hinge point, so like that arch in your lower back, if you look sideways in the mirror, you want to just slightly lift up in that area, if possible, and just create length through the head. Okay, so we're practicing our 360 breathing here, but we're also practicing breathing under a brace in this position because this is a core exercise. It's quite challenging when it's done correctly. So take a 360 inhale. Exhale out all the air, so hard breathing. Exhaling out all the air, picking up the blueberry. Now you want to hold the tummy still and take a 360 inhale. Exhale out all the air again. Quite forcefully. Inhale wide again. Exhale. So if you had a wide rib cage, you want to corset the rib cage on your exhales, or the opposite if you had a narrow rib cage. Okay, one more. Inhale wide. Exhale. Inhale, pause. Exhale, lift up again. And relax. Woo. So that's a really strong tummy exercise, and I noticed not having the wall there that my head started sinking a little bit down, which is why it's important to have something that you can rest your head against. So you can practice 5 breaths at a time for that, but if you find that it gets a little bit too hard for you to maintain your engagement, then you could just do 2 breaths at a time, reset, and then another 2 breaths. All right, so now we're moving on to some dead bugs. On your back. Now, if you have an anterior tilt, you need to slightly come into a bum tuck, so a little bit of a posterior tilt, and that's going to help you engage your lower tummy a little bit more, and it's also going to help with your lower back. All right. Now, if you have a posterior tilt, you want to just be in neutral spine. Okay. From here, you can keep your hands on your pelvis bones, on your hip bones, if you want to have some feedback. Otherwise, you can just really tune into what you feel for your body. So we're practicing our breathing under a brace as we are. I'm just going to demonstrate. So we would breathe under a brace, and then during that brace, I'm going to lift one knee up and then down, and then the other leg up and then down, and then I would take my inhale. All right, so you have 2 options here. You can either exhale out the whole time, or you can exhale to a certain point, breath hold, do the lifts, and then inhale when you come back. Either way, play around with both of those ways because you might find that the breath hold actually gives you more pelvic stability. Okay, so you'd exhale out all of the air first, and then you would do your lifts. And then you inhale here, and then you exhale out all the air, hold, and then lift the leg. All right, otherwise you can just exhale throughout. Okay, so to set yourself up for this one, the same as the others, lengthen through the crown of the head. Take a nice 360 inhale. Exhaling out all of the air. So you're either corseting the rib cage or you are expanding the rib cage, keeping it wide and focusing on your lower abs. picking up the blueberry, either doing your breath hold or exhaling for the lift, aiming to keep your pelvis as still as possible. And then inhale after you've done both legs. So inhale under your brace and then exhale, reconnect again. And then inhale. So if you imagine that you have lily pads under each foot and you don't want those lily pads to sink, so it means that you have to be light like a feather onto the floor when you put your feet back down to stop any hip movement from happening as well. Okay, so let's go again. So you're either exhaling throughout or adding that breath hold. So inhale, 360, back, sides and down. Exhale, exhale for your rib angle. And then inhale. So I actually notice that I am exhaling for one leg and then breath holding for the other, because that's just as far as my exhale goes. So you can also opt to do that, unless you've got a long exhale and you can manage to do the exhale for both sides. All right, so we're going to go again. It's all about practicing what you feel. So if you want to put your hands on your tummy, go for it. You want to feel everything either come together for the wider rib cage on your exhale, or for the narrow rib cage, opening up the ribs, using the lower tummy to connect, keeping everything really flat on your exhale. Okay, so inhale 360, exhale, take your inhale under your brace, keep your tummy still, exhale again, inhale, breathe under your brace, remember it's not a race. The slower, the more controlled, the more you're getting out of it. Okay, if you find that you're feeling it a little bit in your mid or lower back, you might like to just prop your bum under a pillow, so it just helps to use more of your lower tummy and take your back out of it a little bit. So play around with that. You can practice the hands and knees breathing for the next couple of days. You can do it multiple times a day. The same thing with these dead bugs, you can do them multiple times a day. The aim is just to understand what your body is doing in each position. Can I practice my engagement in this position? Can I breathe under a brace? Can I make it feel easier? Can I feel things more? And the more you ask these questions and the more you're searching for those answers from yourself, you will find them. So give yourself that space and high five, and I'll see you on our next day.